Hey, my name is Crystal, and I want to really thank you for taking the time to click on my video and watch it. I know that we all have very, very busy lives and lots of things to do. I'm also hoping that I'll eventually be able to post this video with an attachment to a video that is very dear to me. So let me give you a bit of a history. About 5 years ago, I had a chance to travel outside of Canada for the first time. I went to Dominican Republic with my partner and one of my best friends and her partner. And it was very exciting for me to get out of Canada and to travel and go to an all-inclusive, hotel. To my luck, and I really feel like it's luck, I went to a resort that took about an hour and a half to get there, so I had to take a very long bus ride. That was semi-luxurious, I had air conditioning and stuff. It was very bumpy, but that's fine. I had the opportunity to see a bit more of Dominican Republic and the beauty that's there, but also the poverty. By the time I got to the hotel, I had this feeling in my gut. I felt so uninspired. Some people will get to these countries and just go crazy and have fun and do all that, and to some extent we did, but I couldn't help but feel this guilt. I, for the first time, saw a third world country, even though I had some economy from travel, it was, for most of the country, pretty poor. And I took lots of pictures, and it brought up a lot of sadness for me. I still tried to make the best of it, and I did. I really did. And at the time, I definitely deserved some vacation time. When I got back from my vacation, I still had this uneasiness within me, this what felt like anger, really. So I thought, okay, I'll use this energy and I'll write something positive. I'll make myself feel better. So here I was. I grabbed a paper and pen and went outside and started writing out the most positive poetry that I could do, and I couldn't. I was so stuck. It took me like an hour to realize that it wasn't going anywhere. I just was frustrated. So I walked into my home, and before we left, we kind of left the place a little bit like a tornado. So I thought I would start cleaning up, which kind of always makes us feel good, right? And I thought to myself, I had this intuition, just bring your paper with you, and anything that comes up, just write. And I said, you know what? I feel this. So rather than pretending that I don't feel this, let me write out what I really feel. And so I did. And I wrote. And as I cleaned, I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And within an hour, I basically was able to write out the following video that hopefully you'll take the time to watch. So the next step was for me to, what am I going to do with this journaling? And so I took some of my pictures that I took from down south, and I started Googling and also saving other pictures and photography, and I made my first YouTube video. I had never done this before. I had to edit and do all that fun stuff. I mean, I played around with it in high school, and to be honest with you, I kind of asked other people to help me with that stuff. I had no interest in it back then, and I really wish I did. But I took the time and I learned the software and I made a video. So why am I making this video? I guess I wanted to give you a little bit of introduction. I've posted it before, but I felt like I need to make it a little bit more personal. Years ago, I would say about almost 10 years ago, I met someone that became a very important role model in my life. You know, he was at first a teacher and a friend, and then he became a partner and all sorts of things after that. But what he really opened up my eyes to was Eckhart Tolle. And if you don't know Eckhart Tolle now, I recommend that you look him up. And it's all about becoming aware of our thoughts, becoming aware of how present we are in our world. So when I started really becoming conscious of who I am, where I've come from, I realized that for a long time, even after that, I was almost like that Energizer bunny. I just kept going and going and going and going. I was like a survivor from birth up until now, or years ago. I survived. You know, I just kept going. And many things came my way. You know, circumstances that I could have never picked. It was my life journey from family and society, and others I definitely chose. And a lot of it brought some pain and suffering, and a lot of it brought some joy too. And so when this friend came along, and the years that followed, I kind of went through what I realize now was kind of like a depression. You know, I became aware of this past that I had, these unconscious choices that I had made, these experiences that I ignored and I hadn't really integrated in my life. And then at the same time, I was studying in university political science. Why is this important? Well, before my first year of university came, I was already, registered. But before this happened, I lost someone that was really, really close to me, a partner, a boyfriend that I dated for 5, 6 years. He died at a very young age of a heart attack, and it was really hard. I thought going to school and university would help me. In some way, I guess it did. But I went into school wanting to become an English history teacher because I had such really great role models in my last years of university that made a big impact on me. For the first 16 years of my life, I don't think I ever really believed in myself. In fact, I thought that I was kind of stupid. I think now looking back, I was a child going through a very dysfunctional upbringing, and I didn't really pay attention in class. And I was also really right-brained, so I was really like artistic and creative, and being in school, I didn't feel like I fit in. The way teachers taught, many of them, I felt like I couldn't relate or understood, so I always kind of just drifted off, right? But I was lucky enough to be in 11th grade in biology class and study for my very first exam. I really studied for, like, maybe spent an hour or two, really. I don't know why I made that decision at the time. I think it was almost like competition, you know, like I knew other people in my class were really thriving to study, and some of them were close friends, so I thought I'd give it a shot. So putting an hour or two in, I ended up getting a 79%. To most people, this might not seem like a lot, but at the time it did for me. I was always passing grades, especially for like most classes with 69%. Don't get those bad thoughts in your mind when I say that, but I really did. So anyways, that ignited me to start studying and really believing in myself. And a year and a half later, when I graduated, I ended up graduating with like an 89 or 91% average, and I ended up getting a scholarship. So that was awesome. So when my boyfriend passed away at the time, I thought that I would continue that, but it didn't work out. So I thought I would go into political science, maybe try to change the world in some ways. And when I took that course, I realized it wasn't for me, you know. Every time I had a question about, you know, there's these policies, why aren't the politic realm following them? My teacher and prof would always say, that's politics for you. And at one point I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing this. So I took a break and I went into yoga and so many other things. Why am I talking about this? I'm making this video, and I made the video at the time because I went through a depression where for the first time in my life I became more conscious about our world, about what's really going on, and I started focusing on, you know, the negative, focusing on, you know, I don't want to say this, but the Illuminati, like the negative, like what's bad in our world, what needs to change. And in a way, it's so good for us to become aware of it, but I became so framed into it, and I closed myself off, and I learned a lot, but I felt so small. I'm like, who am I to make a difference in the world? Like, there's so much to do. Like, what am I gonna do? So when years later I had a chance to travel and see the world for really what it was, I was inspired to make this video. And what it made me realize was I was focusing on that 1%, while I could really focus on the 99%. But what the beauty and the glorious and the creative and inspiring place humanity can be. So I want to give you this introduction before you watch my video, because I'm at a place now for years where I've dedicated my life to assist myself and others on focusing on not only our flaws or weaknesses, but the beauty of being human, you know, like our humanity and the ability that we have to really bring change. And the only way we can do that is not being alone. And for a long time I felt alone until I met my tribe, until I met people that I can talk to. And now I'm at a point where many of us are talking about a future that we're all wanting to co-create, and allowing our different aspects or different gifts or different abilities and to be able to create these ideas and the places we want and we desire our world to truly be. So I really hope that this somehow inspires you to watch my next video and to, you know, start this conversation with me and so many other people. And yeah, so thank you.